This prayer to the gods of night is an ancient Babylonian extispicy prayer for divination that would be recited when performing divination at night. Extispicy is a form of divination by means of inspecting the entrails of sacrificed animals, most often sheep. Most of the time, divination was done in the daytime under the auspices of the gods like Shamash and Ishtar, relying on omens and the specifics of official, sanctioned religious requirements. By studying this poetic prayer, it can be gleaned that as the city slows and winds down for the night, the primary gods do as well. The general purpose of this prayer is to fill in this gap by appealing to the nighttime gods, the Ili Musitim, dwelling within the constellations. Many have made rough correspondences between the constellations mentioned in this prayer and modern constellations. Gira, the fire god, also called Jibil, corresponds most likely to the jaw of Taurus. Era, the fierce war and plague god, who was often syncretized with Nergal, corresponds to a star above the bridge of Ursa Major. The bow, whom the Babylonians called Kastum, is probably part of Canis Major. The yoke was probably part of Bootes and some of the central stars around Arcturus. Orion was called Citadarum, Citadalum, or Sidalum, meaning the true shepherd of heaven. The dragon corresponds to the serpent Mushhusum, one of the 11 chaos monsters reared by Tiamat, but tamed by Marduk and made into his pet in the Enuma Elish. Most likely, this is referring to the Hydra constellation, or Draco. The wagon corresponds to 7 principal stars of Ursa Major. The goat most probably corresponds to Lyra. The bison corresponds to Centaurus and Lupus. The horned serpent corresponds to Hydra. However, these last two are actually still unidentified. The appellation of gods of the night also appears in another prayer as part of a maklu, a burning ritual, a series of exorcisms and uncrossings which were performed in the witching hours all the way until the wee hours of the dawn. The Babylonian prayer to the gods of night. The princes are closely guarded, the locking bolts lowered, the locking rings placed. Though previously noisy, the people are silent. Though previously open, the doors are locked. The gods of all the land and the goddesses of all the land, Shamash, Sin, Adad, and Ishtar, have entered into the lap of heaven. They do not render judgment. They do not decide a case. The night is veiled. The palace, its chapel, the cella are obscured. The traveler invokes God, but the one who offers a decision remains asleep. The judge of truth, father of the impoverished girl, Shamash, has entered his cella. The great ones, the gods of the night, bright Gira, warrior Era, the bow, the yoke, Orion, the furious serpent, the wagon, the goat, the bison, the horned serpent. May they stand by so that, in the extispicy I am performing, in the lamb I am offering, you may place the truth